to guess that you did not wake up this morning, brush your teeth, think, oh, I hope I get some really bad ideas today, particularly in meetings. Yeah, I hope my calendar is filled with lots and lots of meetings with half-baked, off-base, dingling ideas. I love actively listening to ideas that I can't possibly use. It's very rewarding. Do you know who wants half-baked, off-base, dingling ideas? Nobody. And yet, I bet you've heard some doozies from your team, from your friends, from your partner, your kids. Now, if the person bringing you dingling ideas is sitting right next to you, just keep your eyes on me. Here's the thing. If you are getting lots of ideas, you're probably doing a lot of things right when it comes to innovation. You are making it safe. You are being really clear that you want people's ideas, and you are actively listening to what people have to say. And if you are getting lots of ideas, you're doing better than most people. In our research on psychological safety and innovation, 40% of the people said that they lacked the confidence to share their ideas. They have what we call FOSU, fear of speaking up. And these ideas that they are holding back were not trivial. It wasn't like, oh, I wish we had kombucha in the break room or virtual Taco Tuesdays. They said they were holding back ideas that would improve the customer experience, the employee experience, or productivity in a process. So if you're already getting lots of ideas, I don't have to tell you that you must eliminate toxic courage crushers like shame, blame, and intimidation. That if it takes courage for people just to show up, they won't innovate. And I don't have to tell you that you cannot just sit and wait for ideas to walk through your open door. You have to proactively go out and ask people for them in your one-on-ones, your meetings. So if you're getting lots of ideas, you're doing great. And what is missing? Why are you getting so many half-baked, off-baked, dingling ideas? Let's start here. What is one area of your life where you really need a great idea? A problem that needs a solution? A challenging goal where you really need a next step? An idea to stop your teenager from putting the empty milk carton back in the fridge? Okay, so let's talk about Ernest. Imagine you are planning a TEDx event, and Ernest is one of your volunteers. Now, Ernest is a sweet, sweet kid, and he's got lots and lots and lots of ideas. Now, Ernest bursts through your open door and takes a marker, goes to the whiteboard, and starts sharing yet another marketing idea of how to really advertise your event. Now, on one hand, you think, oh, bless his sweet heart. It's good to know that there are kids like this in the world. Our future is bright. And on the other hand, you think, OMG, I do not have time for this today. But here he goes. Okay, let's get this. Llamas. Specifically, a llama parade on Sligo Creek Parkway. It's brilliant, right? Yeah, my mom thinks it's a great idea. And she's already called her Aunt Charlotte. But here's the thing. Auntie Charlotte is a llama whisperer. She's got the morning blocked. We're all going to do brunch after. Now, look, I've even made an AI mock-up so you know exactly how it's going to go. Now, you're a human-centered leader, so you have to respond with regard. So you thank Ernest for caring, and then you share your long list of logistics and budget reasons that this is not going to work. And because you're a human-centered leader, you share a strategic story to ensure that Ernest really understands. You talk about how the last time you were on Sligo Creek Parkway, you were riding your bike, and you watched a couple on a tandem bicycle totally biff it because they got distracted by a frozen yogurt truck. Ernest, llamas are even more distracting than froyo. The parade is a hard no. Okay, here's the thing. You have to make it safe for people like Ernest to share their ideas. If you don't, Ernest, his mom, and Auntie Charlotte are all going to be very disappointed. And yet, all that llama drama is a little bit extra. Have you ever worked with an Ernest? Have you ever been Ernest? Me too. The thing is, no one set Ernest up for success. 50% of the people in our innovation research said the reason that they do not share ideas is because nothing will happen as a result. If you shoot down too many ideas, people will stop trying. You've got to be clear about what a remarkable idea looks like. So you start with the strategic clarity. This is what success looks like. This is what we need for a successful marketing event. And then when you get clarity, you're going to get better ideas. When you get better ideas, you're going to use them. When you use people's ideas, you create better psychological safety. And now you have a virtuous cycle of innovation and confidence. So when my partner David Dye and I began experimenting with really practical tools and techniques to make it truly safe for people to speak up and share their ideas with confidence and competence, we use the tools in a couple of ways. Sometimes we would go and say, hey, bring us any doable idea that you think would improve the organization. Here are some tools, here's some techniques to get it better, here's some ways to communicate it. Now, in those scenarios, we got some creative ideas. People learned some critical thinking and problem-solving skills. They had some fun along the way, but a couple of months later, most of those ideas were not implemented. Then we went and said, here are 3 strategic areas of the organization we absolutely need vital ideas. This is what success looks like for these kinds of ideas. Same techniques, same tools, way more usable ideas that got implemented. So what we're talking about here is, yes, we need psychological safety. These are all the things that you are already doing if you're getting lots of ideas. You're making it safe. You're being clear you want ideas. You're asking for the ideas, and you are responding with regard. And now you're going to add strategic clarity. I know what success looks like. Okay, so let's see how all of this stuff plays together, because psychological safety times clarity equals remarkable ideas. So on one continuum of an axis here, you have got psychological safety. You know what that is. Now you've got strategic clarity on the other continuum. In your worst case scenario, psychological safety is low, clarity is low, you're going to get negligible ideas. Ideas, people aren't even bringing up ideas. Now, what happens if you have got clarity without the psychological safety? in this scenario, you are going to have invisible ideas. This is what people like us who are really working on psychological safety have been looking to do. How do we make it safer for people to speak up and share their ideas? Now, if you've got both, you've got high psychological safety, but no clarity. This is where you've got your unmanageable ideas. You may have some good ideas, but you're not going to see them through the llamas. What we're going for here is high psychological safety, high clarity, more remarkable ideas. So let's take this and see how this plays out in a couple of quick scenarios here. So let's say you go to your team and say, hey, do you have any ideas to help me be a better leader? Okay, that seems like a very reasonable request, except it's actually a low clarity question, and you're going to get crickets. But what if instead you go to your team and say, hey, what's one idea that I could do to communicate better as a leader? All right, now if you've got a reasonable level of psychological safety, that's a pretty easy question for people to answer. And when you do something with what they say, you have now increased psychological safety, and they are more likely to give you an even better idea when you come the next time. Now, let's take this to an organizational level. So this is from a laboratory that does all kinds of testing, including COVID testing. So you can imagine over the last couple of years what it is like to run a company like this, right? They are sailing along and they are working on their mission to get people healthier faster, and things are going well. And then there is an explosion of opportunity where everyone, everywhere, all at once wants to know whether they have COVID, and they want the answer fast. So the senior team made it extremely clear about a couple of things. One, that their mission was to get people healthier faster, not just for COVID, but for their core business as well. And they made it very clear that they did not have all the answers. Nobody had figured this out. There are variants coming and going. So they said, we need everybody thinking about this. They gave the team training on how to create clarity and how to cultivate curiosity throughout the entire organization. Here's their remarkable idea. Build a laboratory right next to the airport hub so that you are shortening the distance between the time the tests come in and then they go to the lab. Okay. Shorten the time that it takes to do the test, get people know why they are sick, and now they're getting healthier faster. Now, every month, close to 50,000 more people know why they are sick and are on their way to getting healthier faster. That's a remarkable idea. As we head into this final example, I'd like to have you think back to your senior year in high school. Do you remember being really sensitive to all the last times? The last big game, the last show you were in, the last summer night. All your friends were getting ready to go their separate ways. Well, it was my son Ben's last marching band game of the season, his senior year in high school, and he invited me to come take pictures, which is a great job for me. I love photography. I love my son. I have all the feels of a mama whose oldest kid is getting ready to go to college. Psychological safety is high. I am motivated to do a good job. So I'm pulling into the stadium, and I can already hear the cadence of the band coming around the track. I go, throw my heels in the back of the truck. I go running around the grassy field, around the concession stand. The air is filled with that thick scent of fall leaves and nacho cheese. And I set up my tripod right at the 50-yard line. Now, I get some great pictures. First, I get the stealth one that Ben didn't even know I was doing. I'm zooming in. I'm getting the pictures of his friends. I got him and his love interest giving each other the sweetest little look. And I am sure these are the pictures he's going to plaster all over his dorm room when he gets there, right? So then the sun starts to set, and I get the lighting right, just right, and I zoom into the field and get the good ones there. Then I race home, and I upload everything to my computer, and I start doing my magic. And by magic, I mean I put it into a PowerPoint presentation and wait for Ben to get home. Now, Ben walks in from the Double T Diner after the game, and I say, oh, Ben, you're going to love this. Watch. Yeah, Mom, no, it's pretty good. How about this one? Yeah, cute. Real cute. How about this one? Mom, did you get a picture of the guitar? Benjamin, you play mellophone. No, Mom, in the last 16 measures, the entire band marches into a formation of a giant electric guitar. Did you get a picture of that? Nope. I completely missed the big picture. Has that ever happened to you? You're working hard. Psychological safety is good. And somehow you're not focused on what matters most. If Ben had said to me, hey, Mom, most important thing, get a picture of that guitar, I would have gotten out of unmanageable territory. Right? And I would not have been down on the 50-yard line. I would have been up in the stands taking a panoramic. If you want lots of ideas, make it safe. Eliminate the toxic courage crushers. Go out and proactively ask people for their ideas. Respond with regard to their contribution. If you want remarkable ideas, add in strategic clarity. So tomorrow, when you're brushing your teeth, I want you to consider, what is one area of your life where you need a remarkable idea, a problem that needs a solution, a difficult challenge that you haven't quite figured out? How can you communicate that with clarity? And who will you ask? And how will you feel when someone brings you that remarkable idea?